Hey guys, I apologize that this video is late. I know that ABC showed this special about a week ago before I filmed this. And unfortunately, I had a busy schedule around the time that this was first shown. And I'm actually shocked that I was able to finally get around to seeing this through my cable provider. Um, there was an on demand feature where I was able to watch this roughly about a week after this was first shown. For this ABC special, guys, that Marvel helped host. It was called Assembling a Universe, and it was shown around the time that normally Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on the ABC channel. Just to give Marvel the extra week to work on whatever Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes they're working on. And this also gives us an opportunity to see what Marvel has made so far within the cinematic universe and what we can expect for the rest of Phase 2 as far as we're concerned. Um, so this is a really interesting, special, you guys, on TV because they had all of the Phase One, how kind of how that got made, how after the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, what kind of convinced Marvel to be able to make this huge universe of films, and so it kind of showed how like even Iron Man One was kind of a long. It took them a while to get that up and going until John Favreau eventually accepted the directing position for it, and they had to really make sure that all these directors were on board for making this very quickly deadlined films for this universe. That way, everything could work for a potential Avengers film. And so this special gets into detail about how all that happened. Kind of the benefit of what they've covered, what of everything that they've covered so far, why they've done it that way. Why it's important that we've covered Mandarin, and why we've even covered Incredible Hulk being rebooted, and all those things have been covered throughout the special. Another thing that was cool too, and keep in mind this is only an hour long, so they actually covered a lot within this special. Kind of what we're expecting for Phase 2. Showed us some more clips of Captain America 2 that maybe we haven't found online yet. Um, they briefly showed a little bit more like on-set footage of Guardians of the Galaxy, so I thought that was pretty cool. Briefly showed us the teaser trailer for Avengers 2: Age of Ultron, and they briefly showed us this one was shown online for sure, the whole thing, but they only briefly showed it in the special, and that was the test footage that they're doing for Ant-Man for Phase 3, which will be the first film in that phase. Kind of how they're going to be able to shoot all these scenes where Ant-Man is regular human size, how he's going to get small. If he's jumping on a bullet, they're going to show they show the technology as to how they're going to be able to make that work so he goes from big and small all the time forever they need it for the actual storyline. Get the technology out of the way, and so by the time they make the film, all they have to worry about is writing and acting and all that other stuff. So yeah, this is a very good and very interesting TV special. I'm still kind of guilty that I wasn't able to see it the very first time this was shown on TV. So I'm going to give you my quick thoughts about it. Overall, this was a great made-for-TV documentary. It really gave me a lot of what I wanted from it, and that's always a good thing. One thing I hope Marvel does, and what I hope ABC does in the future, is give us updated specials of this. So not only do this now for before Captain America 2, before Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers 2, but maybe they can possibly do this special again. Maybe around the time Phase 3 is really starting to get serious. Maybe they could show us Doctor Strange footage if they're if that's one of the Phase 3 films, and maybe show us like Captain America 3, Thor 3 footage for when that's ready to go. So this has a lot of potential for being upgraded. Maybe there's like an Assembling a Universe Volume 2 or something like that. So I really hope that because they've done it so well here, maybe they're going to do an updated version here in the future at some point. They showed us some behind the scenes people that we normally don't get to see for these kind of films, like the producers, the directors. This is probably the first time I've seen Shane Black talk about Iron Man 3, so I thought that was kind of cool. A lot of the producers' names, Avi Arad, Kevin Feige, who's produced all these cinematic universe films so far. We get to see all these people talk who we don't see on camera or even during interviews before these films have come out. Either it's either the director or maybe one of the producers if we're lucky, and then obviously the cast involved with those films. So I just really liked how that Marvel and ABC got to show us kind of how this universe has affected the whole business of Marvel Studios. Kind of their transition into films and just their whole input on the whole thing. I also liked how the special talked about the actual comics that these, films were based off of. They're telling us, this is the things that we've kept from the comics. These are some things we've changed for the benefit of, being able to cover all that within a 2-hour film. Kind of how, why they've made the decisions the way they have. Why this villain and not this villain. Why keep Tony Stark? Why keep? Ooh, I can't talk today. Well, keeping Tony Stark, having the alcoholism problem that he always has, but maybe toning it down a little bit. Obviously Iron Man 2 played off that a little bit more, and they kind of talked about how Iron Man 1 and 3 had it, but they toned it down. Made it make sure it was PG-13 level, and all that good stuff. I liked how they showed us brief snippets of not only Captain America 2, but Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ant-Man test footage, which was obviously shown online not too long ago. Just it was just great to see snippets of all those things of what they've done of it so far, some on the set, behind the scene footage of those things. So just a lot of fun. And then they also showed us, and this is actually brand new. I've seen like people's iPhone footage of this stuff, but I haven't seen like actual professionals film this stuff yet. And I'm glad they were able to show it in the special. Was some on-set footage of Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. They were showing a scene where Ultron's going to be flipping a truck, and Scarlet Witch using her powers, and it was very very brief footage, but just the fact that they actually got to show us some things that they're even to this, they're probably working on it right now for all I know. Just what they're doing right now for Avengers 2, what they have done so far, and what we can look forward to for when that film eventually comes out next year. For the negatives of the special, I do think they spent a little bit too much time on Iron Man 1. Not a problem, but I'm a huge fan of the original Iron Man. It's obviously one of my favorite films of all time. Definitely my favorite Marvel film so far. But I think they spent way too much time on it. I get the impression that it took them a lot of time to get this universe up and going, but just the fact that they had so much material to cover for the 60-minute special. I would have preferred those extra minutes be spent on something like Avengers 2 or Captain America 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. Just something the things that we actually want to learn more about, because all of us has probably seen Iron Man 1 several times by now, and I don't think they need to cover it more than what they already covered for it. I just felt they spent a little bit too much time on it, and by the time they got to all the other films so far in the universe, it felt very brief. I didn't like how like Iron Man 1 was getting all the attention for all this the whole time. Um, I also thought the Marvel one shots were treated with more importance than what they really were. I mean, let's face it; they're basically a bonus feature on a Blu-ray and the DVD of these films. They're not like the key meat of this universe. Like if you have the bonus feature, if you have the Blu-ray of these films, great, you're able to watch these. Unfortunately, those one shots are about very small people within the Marvel universe, and the fact that they spent a good chunk, kind of like what they did with Iron Man 1, about these one shots, it just made me say to myself, I really don't care about this. I care about the stuff that was covered in Phase 1, the films obviously, and then the Phase 2 films, what's been done so far, like Thor 2, Iron Man 3, and what we can expect for the rest of Phase 2. So it was just kind of weird to me why they treated these Marvel one shots with such great importance, when in all honesty, the Marvel one shots just kind of little nice bonus features to these Blu-rays and DVDs, and they're really not like the key meat of Phase 1 and Phase 2 for the cinematic universe. And then obviously a lot of specials do this, specifically the specials where the studio executives think a lot of people are going to watch them. The Super Bowl obviously is very um, victim of this. Is there was way too many commercial breaks. I mean, there was like a commercial break every 10 minutes during this special, and it was a 60-minute special. Um, so I guarantee that probably took out a good 20-25 minutes of more material they could have covered. It's great that these companies are able to afford, showing these expensive ads during this big special, but it's just like I want to learn more about things. I want to see more of this special, and I don't really care about the latest mascara set. It's just like give me more of this special. So I had a lot of fun with the special, you guys. I feel really guilty once again that I wasn't able to see it on the original airtime, but I'm finally glad I actually was able to see it. I would have felt really bad if I wasn't able to see this at all. Let me know down below if you guys really like this special too. I had a lot of fun with it, and like I said, I really hope Marvel has maybe updated versions of these in the future. It was a lot of fun.